As you already heard, my name is Martin Horvath. I'm from fru.pl, responsible for all the marketing activities our group is doing right now. It means all the marketing activities here in Poland, then in Romania, Ukraine, and as a very early startup-based country for us, Vietnam in Asia. How many of, just a quick question, how many of you knows fru.pl and the company and what we are doing, just for me to know? 1, 2, 3, okay, quite a lot. Who doesn't know? Fru.pl is online travel agency selling and booking flights, hotels and cars online. I call our service as e-commerce with care, which means that we are not only, let's say, internet tech company, which is pretty important to be good in technology, but we are, let's say, e-commerce with care, which means that we have a strong customer care taking its place when it comes to your questions, anything which is regarding your bookings, your travel. We are there to help travelers around the world when they need it. How we do it, we search the best deals, we have our own technology, we care what I already mentioned, and we innovate. What does it mean? It means that we have our own development department, which is taking care of, let's say, weekly basis releases of new innovations, because this is, let's say, in a competitive market like Poland and Romania is, it's very important. What are we up to today? I will go very, let's say, more in general, how to know your client, how to, and why to change a different how to choose the different approach when it comes to different countries. And speaking about marketing, not let's say the e-commerce way, so not pay-per-click activities, not the SEO and all this stuff, but more regarding to brand, how you can understand people, how you can and how you should be empathic when it comes to your external communication. That's the different approach part. Then how to know your battlefield, how to, for let's say using very simple and free tools, know what people like, how they act, what problems they have, and maybe what for you the opportunity when it comes to market, how much money they have, and how can you know this very simple way. Then the same thing, how to know the online crowd, you can kind of be interested in. Why it is so important to read local news, and when you are entering the foreign market, why it is very important to meet people, talk, and listen what they need, and listen what they really have in their everyday lives. So let's say different approach. Why it is so important to choose different approach when you are acting or doing your activities on a foreign market, or when you enter foreign market. It's very simple. In my previous company, I was based in Slovakia. We run businesses in Slovakia and Czech Republic, and we have saying that if having a €1 in your wallet and act like millionaire, it's very Slovak-like. But when you have €1 million and acting like you doesn't have a penny, it's more Czech-like. What does it mean? It's very simple, and you just need to understand people how they act, right? You have the same product when it comes to our segment, which is travel. You need to say the same. You need to sell the same product with different words, with different approach, right? When you have Slovak, you need to tell. When you have a Slovak audience, you need to tell how great it is, how luxurious things you can see, how exclusive the resort is, right? And they will spend the last money they have, because it's so exclusive that they can tell it to all of their friends that they were on this kind of a vacation. But when you have, for example, Czech audience, it's really different. You can sell the same product for the same price, but you need to tell that it's deal of the year, that it will be never cheaper again, right? So you need to just buy it right now, because that's what they listen to. And that's very important whenever you do any, let's say, external promotional activities on any market. You just need to know how people act and how can they react on your messages you are spreading, so that you will understand them and you will be very empathic, and you will, let's say, support them with their basic needs, what they have. So it's about different approach, but it's about market research and knowing your battlefield as well. It's like this is how I always look when I need to read some statistics. But anytime when you consider entering foreign market, you just need to make your research, you just need to follow the numbers, and you just need to understand how to use these numbers for you. Another question, is there anyone who is already on some foreign market or just considering it? Just for me to know, one, two, okay, few people who is considering or already are on a market. Cross-board. What does it mean? You just need to know your battlefield, and there are very simple tools how to know it. You usually should know what is the country's gross domestic product and its growth. What is the domestic product for per capita, and what is average salary? And what is I know that it sounds quite boring when it comes to marketing, but at the same time you need to understand what people, how the country is developed when it comes to, let's say, economy, how satisfied, and you can directly see how satisfied people are when it comes to their lives, what they need, how much money they have, how much money they will have in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and for what they will gonna spend this money, right? If they have let's say, if they spend their average salary they have just for basic needs to, let's say, fulfill accommodation, food, and some basic stuff, it will be probably hard to sell travel products like us, or electronics, or whichever product which is, let's say, not filling these basic needs, but maybe it's more enjoying, right? Like travel is very enjoying stuff, and people buy it usually after they fulfill their basic needs. So you need to know how much money people have in their wallets, and how they are using them, and how they will spend their money in future. When it comes to sources of data, there is very simple tools where you can see on very simple way, not the huge economic Excel sheets, but just use Google public data or data from World Bank or International Monetary Fund. All of these channels have very easy tools and graphs where you can see what is the current situation of the country and people, and what will be the situation in next 5 years. And you can then very easily decide if the market you are considering is maybe good for your product in next few years or just currently, right? For example, you are selling toys, or you are selling mother care things. You can just easily see what is the born index in that country, if there is a baby boom or not. And if there is a baby boom, you can enter immediately the market and start selling mother cares, right? Stuff. When it's baby boom right now, it's probably it's very you can expect that in next 3, 4, 5 years there will be a huge market with selling, let's say, toys or something like this. So whatever you do, you can find very good things when it comes to economy data, and you need to read it, and then you need to start to understand the market. Market research when it comes to online. You need to understand, you already know that people have some money, they will probably spend it somehow, but you need to know how they spend the money online, and if they are online. We can compare it when it comes to our own example. we can see that there is a huge difference between, for example, Poland and Romania, where the internet penetration is about 70+%, and Vietnam, where we are just starting. We can see that the internet penetration there is around 50%, which gives us huge opportunity in future when it comes to growth, and that's one thing. And another thing, you can use the same matrix for Facebook, right? You just check yourself, again, using very simple tools which are available online. What is a Facebook penetration? If you see that Facebook penetration on markets you are considering to enter are lower than your current market you are acting and you are running your business, you can see that there is a huge opportunity that users will grow there and start to be more online focused and start to engage with you more and more. So just check it, use the data for you properly, and that's the way how you can expect what kind of voice and what kind of messages you need to spread and how to tell people. Again, Google search and online competitors. It's a very easy way how to determine what is your, what should be your strategy when it comes to entering the new market. You can, using Google AdWords or Google Ad Planner, you can see, Google search AdWords, you can see how many times your possible customers look for your products. Right? You can compare it with the data of internet penetration or Facebook penetration. You can compare it with your current data from your local market, and then make a good decision. Okay, is this a good market for me? Does this market have a good opportunity to grow in the future? Right? Is this the place where I should start to promote myself when it comes to Google? You can see immediately the competitors, the opportunity, the number of searches, and everything. And when it comes to online competitors, you already know that people have money. You already know that they could spend it online. So just check your competitors using, for example, Alexa.com or Ad Planner without any costly marketing. You can research this. You can see how many users they have, how much time users spend on their websites, and compare it to your data as well and see what's the difference. Okay, is the market already saturated and I need to bring the really great additional value to the customers so they will choose my brand, or not really, and the path on that on internet will be much easier. Again, coming back to our brand, to fru.pl, we opened the Vietnamese market just a few weeks ago, because we can see that there is a huge opportunity when it comes to internet growth. There's a huge opportunity when it comes to travel business, since there is no online travel competitor. And at the same time, we see that the behavior of the users when it comes to e-commerce is great, and they already know how to buy stuff online. Since I will tell you maybe a little later how the Vietnamese market look like, but using very simple tools, you can really determine, is this the market for me, or this is not really market for me. It's online crowd research, and it's very easy how to do it. When it comes to starting to spreading your message, you are already there. You need to understand what message to tell people, so they will understand you, and you will keep their wave of thinking. What does it mean? Read local news. Whatever you do on foreign market, and you know that you cannot afford a local presence, for example, having a branch or having a people working for you directly on the battlefield somewhere across the board. Just read the local news. You just translate it if you don't understand it, but you need to understand what is the political situation, meaning everyday problems, how are the everyday reactions of people, how they see it, what are the best topics in media, and how the social media reacts on this, if they are joking or if they are desperate, or how they do this, right? And I call it culture index. I'll call a little later what I mean. When it comes to using this for, let's say, for us, we were entering the market to Ukraine early this year, but before we've done this, or before we have decided which tone of voice and which type of visual communication and which type of messages will be spread with everyday external marketing activities, we just needed to understand the market. And we see the Ukraine, where there is a strong pressure from the Russia trying to keep them close to them, and at the same time there's a strong pressure from European Union to somehow push them to keep the basic democratic rights and to keep the economy growing and everything. And at the same time you see the elections, you see the political problems, corruptions, and you see people really screaming using all the media, like in blogs and in social media. You see them protesting, and you see them that this is not what they want. So that's it. The only thing they want is just really easy life. They don't want to listen about Russia. They don't want to listen about European Union. They don't want to listen about corrupted politics. No, nobody does. Nobody doesn't want to listen about these things. You just want to have a nice life. So what we started to do, we started to spread the message: be a Londoner, be a European, be a New Yorker for a while, and we show the people with everyday lives without any problems. And then you see that, people start to think and feel that, yes, that's where I would like to be. That's how I would like to act in in my life, right? Having no problems. And that's very important, just to understand what people think about the situation, what are their needs, and to feel, let's say, empathic, and start to copy this thinking into visual communication and to messages. When it comes to market research, you need to know local Facebook. I'm quite, let's say, I think that knowing Facebook locally is very important to understand overall market, because it usually reflects the people's mood, people's feelings, and not on the buying mode, but in the everyday lives. The same like the media and political situations, the same on a Facebook. It's very easy to, for example, using socialbakers.com to check in every country what is the strongest Facebook page. You know that there is a huge number of Facebook pages, but you need to know why this one is so strong. And it's because people like it. People in this country usually likes these pages, and that is something you should somehow take and use for your advantage. How can you use it? For example, on Vietnamese market, we just realized that the strongest Facebook pages are pages with gadgets, with electronics, with every innovation tool you can even imagine. They have plenty of pages about this, so you understand, okay, so, sorry. They like this kind of stuff. How can I use it when it comes to my brand, right? So what we decide to do two things. First of all, start to organize contests where we offer this kind of electronic toys and gadgets as a prizes, which brings us a huge attention because people just like it, and you understand this because you check it on a Facebook what people like. And at the same time, you connect yourself with strong brands offering these kind of gadgets, because at the same time, you checked who are the biggest Facebook brands on Vietnamese market, and you see that obviously the strongest are brands selling the electronics and gadgets. So for you, it's just good opportunity to take this strongest player, offer them some kind of cooperation, contests, some cross-channel marketing like newsletters and whatever, and engage the users with your brand and use this kind of, let's say, benchmark. So you start to benchmark yourself with the biggest brands, with things which users most likes the most, and that could help you to again be on the same wave like all your potential customers are. So you know how they feel, what they like, what they don't like, and at the same time you are trying to match these criteria and use it in your external communication. When it comes to local presence, I always prefer to speak with people. You don't need to make costly market researches or just run never-ending surveys and collect data. Yeah, sure, that's quantitative research definitely works, but what is important as well is just spend some time on the street speaking with people directly and ask them how they feel, what they think. Again, you already know what are their problems, but it's great to just speak about their problems and speak, if you buy this kind of stuff, when would you buy it? Would you buy it just once a year for Christmas, or is it something you are buying like 2-3 times a year because you have a, let's say, this is something which makes you happy, right? So when you know how much money they have, when you know what are their problems and what are their basic needs, with personal touch, you can even feel them, right? Feel how what they think, what are their problems, and start to solve these problems. And the very important thing is that you need to know what they miss. If you know that they miss, as I mentioned, for example, they miss easy life because all of the corruption in Ukraine or all of the economic problems, you just offer them type of communication which is solving this problem. If you don't know this, you can just say that you are selling TV for 200 euros or flights to Paris for 150, but who cares? There is so many players selling this that when you don't use the right tone of voice, nobody will listen to you and nobody will understand why should they buy from you, because there will be no match of brand and the people. And as soon as you know the people, you can match your brand with them and with their needs. It's very last slide about the different approach when it comes to different countries we are running our businesses. It's the same product. It's Paris, flight to Paris, and these are 3 examples how we visualize things in Poland, Romania, and Ukraine, and why. When you see this, it looks like, where is it this? It looks like very similar communication, but when it comes to details, it's not really how it is. This is the visual communication we usually use for Poland. And why? Because we know that people in Poland, when they would travel to Paris, they would travel to Paris just for some weekend break, just because they will treat it as let's say, another trip in a year, since they are traveling 2 and more times a year. They have 1 long holiday, they have 1 or 2, some of them even 3 short holidays, short weekend holidays. And they have so many choices that they have been already in so many places. So it's very rare to see someone who was not in Paris, who was not in London, who was not in Milan, where you have daily flights for almost nothing. The most important thing in Poland is just the price. So that people know these places, people know, they probably already been there. So only thing what can sell the flight and our product is the price. It's not the same in Romania. In Romania, the situation is very similar to, for example, Slovakia. You can see people having quite, let's say, comparing with the rest of the European Union, quite small salaries when it comes to average, traveling once, maybe not more than twice a year, but having the greatest car you can imagine, because it looks great. And Romanians, sorry if there is some Romanian, I don't mean it bad, they like to look nice when it comes to comparing with the others. So we use different wordings. We use it's glamour time, right? And use the lady, which is shopping somewhere, okay, who looks like shopping, having a Prada or whatever big brand sunglasses, because you know that people in Romania would never wear cheap, no-brand sunglasses, and if they would travel to Paris, they need to tell their friends that they were shopping in Paris, right? You don't need to tell this, what we feel is that we in Poland, you don't need to tell your friends that you were shopping in Paris. You just say that you were with your couple having a great time and maybe have some dinner. But in Romania, people are just crazy about telling where they were, and they were shopping, and they have the great Prada sunglasses bought and whatever. So we saw it on the banner, we show it on the banners, and it works much better if we use just general communication. And when it comes to the last one, it's Paris for a while, is the Ukraine communication. It's something what I already mentioned, right? You know that people are quite desperate about their everyday lives, and you know that they just want to go for a local market, buy stuff, not read the newspapers, and just calm down for a while. So you use this type of communication on visuality and the message you're spreading. Paris for a while, and showing a lady from maybe on a bike, which is very Paris or European style, and it works. So these are the things how you are selling the same product, but with different visuality, different message, because you understand the market. You know what people like, you know how people react on everyday situations, and you are offering them the solution for their, let's say, problems, or you can even offer them vitamins to, let's say, make their life better looking when it comes to comparing with the others. So when it comes to Romania, for example. So that's it, actually. That's just a presentation about how to understand the market. Hope you like it. Thanks. And questions, if you have.